Hey everyone, this is Erin with Five Parks Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for class today. Today's class is a highly requested yoga class for new moms. And I have been there. I have 3 kids of my own. They're getting to be a little bit bigger. It's been a while since they were newborns, but boy, do I remember. I will never forget a lot of the things that new moms are feeling, like exhaustion, fatigue, maybe a little bit of stress, I don't know, sleeplessness, and then some of the physical things that I struggled with as a new mom were regaining strength in the pelvic floor, the low belly, the core, and also lots and lots of soreness in the shoulders, upper back, carrying babies, nursing babies, carrying car seats. I remember. So we're gonna take some time to work on those things that I just mentioned throughout this class, but most importantly, you are on your mat right now, and that is the best thing that you could possibly be doing, because that was the hardest thing for me to do when I was a new mom, taking a little bit of time for myself. It almost feels impossible to come by. I want this to be a feel-good class. If you've got props around that you like to use in yoga, feel free to grab them. We're gonna start in a seated position, so if you're having a hard time with nice tall spine posture, go ahead and sit on 1 or 2 blocks, propping your hips up. If that makes it a little bit more comfortable and easy. Either way is fine. Take your hands, rest your hands in your lap. Take one palm face up, and then take your other palm, rest it on top, and then just rest your hands and the weight of your arms heavy in your lap. You can connect your thumbs if you'd like, and close your eyes and take 3 breaths here. So breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your nose, last time in through your nose, out through your nose, open your eyes. If they're not already, continue to breathe deeply in and out through your nose. Okay, we're gonna warm up the neck and shoulders, just releasing tension from the upper back. So go ahead and take your right fingertips, place them down on the floor, tent to your fingers, and then take your left hand to the top of your head and start to draw your left shoulder towards your left ear. Feel the stretch in the side of your neck. And switch sides. And tense your left fingers, take your right hand to the top of your head and start to gently draw your ear towards your shoulder. Come back to center. Take both hands to the floor, tense your fingers, and then start to gently press your chin forward and release it down towards your chest. Maybe a couple gentle rocks side to side. And then start to lift your chest up, lift your chin up, open your chest. And come back to center. We're gonna take some, they're called stomach grinds, but I want it to kind of be a gentle, fluid motion. So you're gonna take your hands to your knees and you're just gonna start to make circles with your torso. So what you're gonna do first is come off to the side, extend the crown of your head forward with a nice long flat back, and then come all the way around, and as you come back, you're actually gonna round your spine. You can take hold of your knees, stretch your upper back, and then again, I'm gonna take 5 in each direction, so you can pick up the pace a little bit if you'd like. One more. And then go ahead, if your legs are cross-legged, switch the cross of your legs, and we're gonna switch the direction of our circles. So go ahead and extend forward with a long spine, come back with a rounded spine, and for 2, 3, 4, 5, come back to center. Reach your arms up overhead. We're gonna take a side bend. Come off to the left, stretch through your right side. Back to center and switch sides. One twist, come up to center, take your right hand to your left knee, look out over your shoulder. Try to keep your shoulders stacked over your hips. Come back to center and release to the other side, taking your left hand to your right knee, gazing out over your right shoulder. Come back to center. Last movement here, you're just gonna take your hands, interlace your fingers at the base of your spine, start to press your fists down, opening your chest and shoulders. Option to hinge forward from the hips, stretching your hips and your low back, or you can just stay upright. Most importantly, what I want you to feel is this opening through the front of your body. Okay, release. Come into a tabletop position. We're gonna take some movements through cat and cow with our breath. So breathing deeply in and out through your nose. As you breathe in, drop your belly down, lift the crown of your head and your tailbone up. So you're opening the front side of your body. As you breathe out, round, look toward navel center. Okay, inhale, this is cow pose. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Last time, cow. And cat. Come back to tabletop position. And from here, go ahead and extend your right leg off to the right. Place your right heel behind your right toes. You're gonna feel a stretch and an opening in your right inner thigh. Tuck your left toes under and start to take your hip back towards your heel and walk your hands forward. So this is a stretch for your inner thigh and a stretch for your shoulders. Rest your forehead down on your mat. Come back up and switch sides. Extend your left leg to the left. Tuck your right toes under and bring your hip to your heel. Walk your hands forward, rest your forehead down. Come back up to a tabletop position. And now you're going to take a posture called heart melting pose. So it's a deep opening for your chest and your shoulders. If you need to move back toward the back edge of your mat, keep your hips directly over your knees as you walk your hands forward and a little bit wider than shoulder distance apart. So you can start to release your chest down towards your mat, your chin or your forehead. Breathe into your chest. Exhale through your nose. Walk your hands back up so they're underneath your shoulders. And from this position, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up for downward facing dog. We're not going to be here long. Just take a full breath in and out through your nose, letting your head dangle down toward the floor. Your gaze is back at your toes. And then from here, walk your hands back towards your feet, bending your legs along the way, and come into Ragdoll Pose So let your head dangle down toward the floor. Your torso rests on your thighs. And if you hold a lot of tension in your neck and your upper back, I like this variation only if it feels good to you. Take your hands and cup them around the back of your head, and then just let the weight of your arms draw your head closer to the floor, creating more space between each vertebra, lengthening your spine. I'm not sure that my upper back and chest ever really quite recovered from all the carrying and nursing and tension of motherhood. So this still feels amazing to me. All right, release your hands down toward the floor if they're not already. And then from here, just roll your way up to a standing position. Nice and slow, no head rushes. Let your head be the last thing to arrive as you come to standing, okay? We're just gonna do some gentle movements to get the breath flowing and the blood flowing through the body. So with feet at hip distance apart, spreading toes nice and wide, breathe in and reach your arms up overhead. And then as you breathe out, cactus your arms. You're opening your chest again. Breathe in, come up to tall mountain. Breathe out, take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Breathe in, open your chest again. Breathe out, hinging from your hips. Come all the way into a standing forward fold. You can bend your legs as much as you need to and start to lift your fists up off your tailbone. On your next breath in, release your hands, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. And we're gonna do that sequence again. So breathe in, come all the way up to tall mountain. Exhale, cactus your arms. Tall mountain. Exhale, hands behind your back for chest expansion. Breathe in, open your chest. Breathe out, fold with chest expansion. If this chest expansion doesn't feel good to you, you can just take your hands, regular forward fold down toward the floor. Breathe in, come up to a halfway lift. So you release your hands, reach them down toward blocks or the floor or your shins. Breathe out, fold. And again, ride the breath, come all the way up. Exhale, hands behind your back. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, hinge from your hips, forward fold with chest expansion. Inhale, lift up, release your hands. Exhale, fold. All right, from here, heel toe your feet out to the edges of your mat with your toes slightly facing out, your heels slightly facing in, and then come into a low squat. Bring your elbows towards your knees and your hands towards your heart. Okay, if this squat doesn't feel accessible to you and you'd like to have a little more support, sit your weight onto your blocks. Okay, just a nice stretch for your low back and your inner thighs. Now, if you want to, you can do just a little bit of pelvic floor work here. So kind of like a Kegel exercise, you're just going to squeeze up and in on your pelvic floor and release. And again, squeeze. You have to build up that strength down there. Again, you're kind of getting a little bit of exercise also for your low belly. And we're just gonna do a couple more, so squeeze. If you don't know what I'm talking about or have never done these kind of exercises, just imagine that you're like stopping the flow of urine, which is hard to do when you're a new mom. Okay, a couple more. Okay, From this position, just take your hands behind your back or remove your blocks out from underneath you and come to a seated position. I don't want this to be a really intense class, but we are just gonna do, in the effort of kind of connecting again with the core and building up strength in the abdominal muscles, we're just gonna take a boat pose, okay? So any modifications, depending on where your body is right now, I'll guide you through those. So this is boat pose. So option, if you feel like your core is just not quite there yet, you can have your feet on the floor. Just try and lift your chest up and lean back a little bit. So this is working the core already. Also, you can have your legs bent and you can hold onto the backs of your legs. You can reach your arms forward towards your feet. You can straighten your legs if you want. And we're just gonna hold it now for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wherever you are, take hold of your knees and just lay down onto your back, and then place your feet flat to the floor. We're gonna move into bridge pose, which is a full front body opener and option for chest expansion. So opening up this area of the body, plant your arms alongside your body and then lift your hips up. For chest expansion, if you want to take this option, you're gonna take your hands, interlace your fingers underneath you, and then you're gonna one at a time roll on to the outer edge of each shoulder. Again, if you would like this to be a more restorative experience, which I certainly invite, take your blocks and place them underneath you. Rest down on your blocks, and then just enjoy this more passive stretch. So same thing is happening in your torso, just whether you're using the strength of your legs to hold yourself up or not. If you are using a block or blocks, make sure it's under the bony part of your sacrum, not resting in your low back. Last breath wherever you are. If you are on blocks, remove your blocks out from underneath you, lower back down onto your back. We're gonna take a couple stretches for the legs now. So extend your left leg long, draw your right knee into your chest, hands around your right knee, bring it up toward your right shoulder. Squeeze your elbows in and down, flex all 10 toes back, and feel that compression in your right hip. Bring your right leg back towards center and extend your right foot up toward the ceiling. Take hold of the back of your right leg. And then you can walk your hands further up the back of your leg if you would like, a deeper stretch. Maybe bring your forehead toward your shin, maybe not. Just feel the stretch in the back of your leg. Release and switch sides. So bring your right leg long on your mat. Bring your left knee in, hands around your left knee up toward your shoulder. Flex your toes back, elbows squeeze in and down. Bring your left leg back to center, extend it up toward the ceiling, hands around the back of your leg. Stay right where you are, or walk your hands further up the back of your leg, maybe lift your forehead up toward your knee. So this is building just a little bit of strength here in the core if you are lifting your shoulders up off the mat, but it's just an option. You probably all came to your mat for a different reason today, so I'm just giving you suggestions and kind of find those things that feel good and take the time to enjoy those stretches or strengthening activities. Now bring your knees into your chest. And let's take a gentle twist. So bring your knees to the left, gaze to the right. Come back to center, switch sides. Bring your knees to the right and gaze to the left. Come back to center. Squeeze your knees into your chest. All right, and happy baby. So separate your knees and feet. Take a hold of your calf, ankles, shin, or toes or feet. Okay, rock side to side. And I hope right now in this moment you have a happy baby so that you can finish out your practice. I know that that's not always easy to come by either. So just taking this time for yourself to acknowledge all the hard work you're doing as a new mom. Hardest job I've ever had. Okay, bring your knees into your chest. I'm going to offer up 2 more postures that are restorative in nature. So the first one is a supported fish pose. You can use a pillow, a bolster, blocks if you have them, if you want to. And it's a wonderful chest heart opener. So you're gonna place your block down on the floor. You're basically gonna want it to be, you can either with a nice long bolster down the length of your spine, or with a block, you can place it basically underneath where your shoulder blades are. You're gonna lay down on your block. And then I like to, because I get a little bit dizzy sometimes in this pose, I like to prop my head up on a second block. It's optional. Okay, and then you can extend your legs out like Shavasana legs. You can be a little more active, bring them together. You can rest your arms alongside your body if you want a deeper chest opener. So you've got all this space here for your shoulders to start to open toward your mat. So I like to take my arms out kind of in like a cactus position. And I like to relax my legs in supported fish since it is restorative pose. Breathe in and out through your nose. Enjoy this posture, letting gravity do its job to open your chest and relax your shoulders. For our final posture of class, you can take Shavasana, traditional Shavasana. Lay down on your back, let your feet fall open, arms alongside the body, palms facing up. Or if you've got a wall close to you, legs up the wall is an awesome restorative posture that gets you a little bit upside down. So you can take your mat up to the wall, and you can bring your hips up by the wall and your feet straight up the wall, okay? If you want to have a little more height and it feels good, you're welcome to take your blocks, pillow underneath your hips. Okay, or if you want an inner thigh stretch from this position, you can separate your feet for a straddle position. To me, this feels good, but if you have really tight inner thighs and this hurts, don't take this, because this is supposed to be a relaxing, restorative time for you. So take whichever version feels best in these last few moments. Hopefully with a sleeping baby near you, you can relax. Option to take your hands, one to your heart and one to your low belly, just in a position of gratitude and grace for yourself can feel your breath coming in and out. Try to the best of your ability to release any tension. Move into a place of stillness and relaxation. Might be your only moment today to have that, so just soak it up. When it's time, release from your Shavasana or legs up the wall pose nice and slowly. You have the time, take more time here, right now, in this moment. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Today, as you go forward, may you have peace in your thoughts, peace in your words, peace in your heart. From my heart to yours, namaste.